Greetings everybody, this is Elias Planakos from Wireless Insider, and today I have with me the BlackBerry BOLD 9900. Highly anticipated, everybody's been dying to see it, want it, touch it, feel it, sleep with it, I don't know. But in the end, I'm here to show you exactly what this phone can do, if it's capable of doing the things you want it to do, and in the end, a list of the small things that you may or may not have thought of about this device that may make or break your decision to go out and buy one. Alright, so you know what, let's go get started. Alright, so the phone comes in a nice black box here, and with all this copyright information, you know it's got to be something good in there. So let's go ahead and open up this guy. There goes the lid, and you are greeted right away with a wonderful BlackBerry BOLD 9900. Oh, look at that. We'll leave that sexy piece of candy on the side for now. And, ooh, something's underneath this thing. Ah, literature. We came here to see, not to read, so I won't go through that. It's probably just a manual, maybe a CD. Bye-bye. And we have two different little pockets here, one for a pouch for the phone, which is very nice, unlike the BlackBerry Torch. This one actually comes with a pouch from BlackBerry. And, of course, the left side has the power stuff, including the power cable and the thinnest battery you'll ever see in a BlackBerry. Check that out. Now, this is rated at 1,230 milliamp hours, so yeah, very nice. Let's get this stuff out of here, and let's get the phone up front center. Get him out of here. There we go. Okay, so I've already turned the phone on so I can get past the welcome screen, but of course when you turn this on the first time, it'll greet you with a quick video. First we'll go over the hardware, then quickly put the battery in there and power this sucker on. The entire phone is covered with a nice, surrounded by an aluminum trim, which is very cool. I know you want to see that, so look at that. Beautiful. Not plastic, all aluminum, and at the bottom here we have the two contacts for the dock connector, where you can use for synchronizing with a BlackBerry Desktop Manager or with a charger. Of course, available separately from BlackBerry. This particular one's unbranded. It's from Telus. However, it is unbranded. Hopefully you're lucky to get enough to get one of those. The back, we have a nice carbon fiber appearance for the battery door. It is made of plastic though, which is cool. Carbon fiber is probably lighter, but it looks very fancy. 5 megapixel camera, flash, and this camera is capable of shooting 720p video. And unlike some of the other connectors for BlackBerries, the battery compartment is removed by placing your nail in this little slot here and popping it out. And in the back of the battery plate, you'll see there's the receiver and transmitter for near-field communication, which is very funky. SIM card goes in there, battery touches there, memory card goes in there. So let's go around here to the top. Single power button, excuse me, so this will be used for turning it on, or sorry, taking it in and out of standby. Turning it on and off is still controlled by the end button here. We have 3 audio control keys, volume up, volume down. In the middle is either mute or pause for music. Of course, a convenience key, which can be changed, but by default activates the camera on the back of the phone. And of course, the wonderful 2.8-inch touchscreen TFT LCD. Very beautiful, very large. See this guy in action just a little bit. Full keyboard, just a bit bigger than the 9000 BOLD 1 that first came out a few years ago. A lot of people have been looking forward to this guy, so let's do something different here. I'm going to pop the battery in, and I want to time it to see how quickly it turns on, because I know a lot of people with BlackBerries are accustomed to waiting quite some time while the phone tries to turn on. So I've got my HTC phone there and slap in that battery, and let me try to time this up very well. The moment I get this guy on, battery's in, timer starts. So while it is powering on, let me zoom in a bit here, and just going to go over some specs here on the phone itself. Like we said before, LCD is 2.8-inch TFT display. It is running at 640 by 480 resolution for the BlackBerry BOLD 9900, and it is running a 1.2 gigahertz Qualcomm 8655 processor. Well, all you got to know from that is 1.2 gigahertz. In comparison, the MyTouch 4G, HTC Panache, and a lot of other entry-level high-end devices are running at 1 gigahertz, and that's on a very advanced Android platform. BlackBerry software is much more conservative, a little simpler to some. Not a bad thing at all. It just means you have so much more power to work with and make use of on a simpler platform, so it'll run much better and faster. At least I hope so. It does have 768 megabytes of RAM, which is overkill. Can't complain here, but hey, the more the merrier. The more things you can do on the phone, the better it is. 8 gigabyte of onboard memory, and the weight is only 130 grams, so it's a very light little guy right there. So while this guy's still waiting, let's see, I guess connectivity still uses Wi-Fi B, G, and N, both 2 and 5 gigahertz spectrum, and it has Bluetooth 2.1, with near field communication. So it's almost there, and boom, 1 minute 15 seconds. I'll ignore that 6, and it's pretty much good to go. There we have it. So 1 minute 15 seconds to turn on from a battery pull. There you have it. That's good to know. Let's put this wonderful back on. Oh, I just love that sound. It feels like I'm holding like a gold or silver brick. It's amazing. As you notice right away, if you have a BlackBerry right now, a BlackBerry OS 6 has a very similar appearance here, but this is OS 7 with, BlackBerry OS 7 with liquid graphics. And you'll know right away by looking at this guy what that refers to. It is very smooth with scrolling from screen to screen, and you'll notice there's a really cool effect. The icons will move separate from the heading on top, so you'll notice all and the icons will shift separately, which really is pretty funky for your eyes. It does give it somewhat of a small 3D effect. It's very neat to have that there. And it is an adjustable bar here, so you can have it there, and you can still access your favorites, all frequent downloads, media. And this is customizable. You can change these. If you don't want to have these multiple home screens, let's say you don't care for downloads, you don't care for frequent, you can change that by going here, manage panels, and you can disable all of them or disable some. So there is a nice way to customize the phone to make it more you. What else we have here? There is an easier way to get to where you want to go. Settings have changed, or the settings menu, of course. When you're going in, this is if you have a BlackBerry 9700, 9780 right now, upgraded to OS 6.1, or sorry, 6.0. Nothing has really changed much visually in the menu here. Everything else is pretty much what you're accustomed to with BlackBerry in the past, which is awesome, so you don't have to relearn the software all over again. Basically, OS 7 brings a lot more functionality in terms of performance and support for higher processor and more memory. Let's go through, I guess why not? You know what, we're all waiting for it. Let's go to the camera. So load this guy up here, 5 megapixels, 720p. Don't think there's autofocus. I've tried taking pictures of a few objects. Haven't really seen it. No, it definitely has autofocus. That was a silly thing for me to say, yes. So it has autofocus. And you can use the 8 gigabytes onboard memory, or of course you can use expandable memory card. Control flash, very easy. What I like about it is how quickly you can exit and enter the application. Boom. Boom. Let's access it again. Yeah, about 2 seconds and getting out of there. Very nice. So it's good to see there. Now let's go to the browser, since we all want to go there. This is running on a Wi-Fi connection. So let's go to browser. Oh, not favorites. There we go. Let's go on to, I guess, engadget.com. Why not? I have to say, as a touchscreen user, this keyboard's feeling really nice right about now. Alright, so as usual, we'll go to the desktop version of this webpage. Wait for it to load. Now this will be a breath of fresh air for those of you who had BlackBerry 9700, 9780, want something a bit better, or much better, because the browsers are very limiting on those devices. Now what's good to note is this phone does not support Flash. There is no Flash support in the 9900. BlackBerry's reserving that for QNX-based systems, most likely BlackBerry 7, or sorry, BlackBerry 8, but BlackBerry 7 does not come with Flash support, so don't expect any Flash magic there. I'll show you that in a moment though. So, web page is finished loading, very smooth. Okie dokie, all the way to the bottom, great, little bouncy effect, all the way to the top, beautiful. Alright, so let's go somewhere in the middle where it's text. Oh yeah, gabba hey, there we go. Alright, it formatted it, let's zoom in again, and format it again. Let's go as close as we can. Oh, there it is. Very nice, look at that, that's very smooth round edges, no artifacts. Okay, let's get out of here. Now, running short on time, so what I'm going to do is just jump into YouTube, since we all want to see how that looks like. Oh, while I'm here, I'll show you the cursor, how it looks, very smooth. See, I'm just moving this guy around, no problem. So let's go here, if it wants to, there we go, youtube.com. Now, good to know, since it has no Flash support, there is no point to go to the actual main website, web page for YouTube. You can't load any of these videos. You have to go to m.youtube.com. And basically, view it from there. What will happen is when you open up videos here, if you're a BlackBerry user already, you'll know what happens. It'll open it up into the media player built into the phone. So it won't open up in the Flash or on the website. So if we go real quickly to, I like 300. I'm sure it's a good movie. This will also be a good audio test. So let's open it up here. So it does not open on the website. It'll open in the browser, the video player that BlackBerry has. Let's increase the volume here. So you'll see how the video has changed and how you can navigate very fast. Even with video playing, we can go through all the options here. Very nice. So you can also change how the video looks. So if you press it here, it goes to full screen. Press this button again, it brings it to its original size, and press it again, and there you go. It's widescreen. So you can change that all here without having to go here. Although you can change video size from the menu, you can change it here from the shortcut icon as well. What I also want to show you is how it handles when you exit it. So if we get back to this video, alright, let's go over here, it's playing, whatever. That's nice, let's end. Let's go back to here, let's pretend you want to check an email, whatever, nice. So let's go back, hold down the BlackBerry button to show your most recent applications, go back to browser, and look at that. It knows exactly where you are, where it left off. Beautiful. It works with you, not against you. Let's get back to the home screen. So next, let's go ahead and look at the small things. I always like doing this. It's something you want to keep in mind. Small things that may not be mentioned in the packaging or on websites or forums, but I notice in comments that they are. So first off, the browser has no flash support, so keep that in mind for any OS 7 device for BlackBerry 7. Video change in the YouTube video, you can change that without having to go to the menu. We covered that. You cannot disable the touchscreen on this phone. So as much as you'd love to disable the touchscreen and just use maybe the scroll pad, you can't disable the touchscreen, mainly because it would interfere with a lot of applications, either from third parties or from BlackBerry themselves. So note, you can't disable touchscreen. There it is, end of the line. You can, let's say you're not a fan of using your thumb here to open and close this. Once you unlock the phone, bam, you can press the BlackBerry menu twice, and it'll open up the tray. It opens it up once, and then it'll ask you minimize panel. Press it again, it acts as an enter command, and it'll do it for you. A little faster. Some people may like it, especially if you're in a rush. You can scroll anywhere you want, and then you can press it again. One thing I did notice on the phone is if you lock the device, alright, on some BlackBerries, if you press any of these keys down here, nothing will happen. But in this case, if you do, there it is. Sorry, my camera's going crazy. If you press one of the core buttons, like a number or an action button, it will wake up the screen. Nothing can happen, right? Because the phone is locked from up here. But something to keep in mind, it'll wake up if it's in your pocket. If you press one of the numbers here, or if you press one of these core buttons, it'll wake up and say, hey, what do you want me to do for you? And I also want to show you how this device works in the sunlight. Alrighty, so we're outside, and this is the sun test for the BlackBerry BOLD 9900. Just going to unlock it here, and right now it's on the default setting, automatic dim or brighten the screen depending on the lighting conditions. And you can see it being a TFT display. It's alright, even with direct sunlight you can still make out what's there on the screen, but now you can see me over there. Hello. Getting up close. Now it's directly in the sun. You can still see what you're doing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get into settings. Let's get into the column menu. There's the white. That's too easy. Let's go through the icons. Options. See, obviously with the white background, it's very easy to see even in direct sunlight. There you have it. You can still see what you're doing, which is very cool. But let's turn up the brightness all the way high. So right now it's 70% by default and automatically dim backlight. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn it up to 100%. So this is the maximum brightness. Let's save those settings and go back to the home screen. Not much of a difference, but you can still clearly see the icons there. Alright, and we're back. So you notice that in the sunlight it was pretty good. You can see it on multiple angles. It is a TFT display after all, but you don't need anything too extremely fancy for this one. It works very well outdoors and in. Overall, it's very impressive. I've been waiting and waiting years to get a phone similar to this one, something with the 9000 mixed in with a torch, or God forbid the storm. We'll remember that phone from back in the day. Horrible. What's good to know, this phone is 9900 in the HSPA version and the 9930 if it's a CDMA version. Here in Canada, you can get it from Telus, Rogers, and Bell. Of course, in the US, it's coming to T-Mobile, and it's coming all around the world very soon, and it's worth every single penny. Alright, well again, this is Last Pinocchos with Wireless Insider. Hopefully you found this video informative. Any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please rate and subscribe. Until next time, take care.